Good morning, and thanks for joining us for today's webinar on what's new in Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2013. I'm Dee Bowers, and I'll be your moderator. So before we jump into the webinar, I'd like to go ahead and go over how to use webinar software. On the right side of your monitor, you should see an orange arrow. If you go ahead and click that arrow, you can toggle your webinar pane between the open and closed position. You'll also see a small chat window. Please feel free to enter your questions in throughout the presentation, and we'll be responding to those at the end of the webinar during our Q&A session as time allows. There's also some webinar audio settings you should be aware of. If you've called in on your telephone, please make sure you have the telephone option selected, and if you're using your mic and speakers, please make sure to select the mic and speakers option. Last of all webinar participants will receive an email within 48 hours with a link to our recorded slide deck and presentation. So let's go ahead and introduce you to our presenters. First, we have Scott Mengelson, the director of our CRM practice here at Menino. Scott has over 20 years of experience in sales and marketing leadership. And we also have Rob Harrison, our senior CRM consultant and instructor. Rob has over 15 years of experience working with CRM solutions. Steve, could you go ahead and forward the PowerPoint there? There you go. And he's also led teams on over 150 implementations. So it's great to have you guys both here, and with that, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Rob.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dee. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the CRM 2013 Introduction webinar. For our time together today, we're going to do just a real brief introduction about who we are, Menino, and a little bit of an overview of the application. Just a few slides. Promise we won't bore you with a bunch of PowerPoint, and then we're going to jump right into a live demonstration and show you real time how the new features and functionality works with CRM 2013, and then we'll end it on a Q&A. So we'll take as many questions as we can, and those, if we happen to run out of time, we'll take those down and we'll get answers to everybody before the end of the day. So a little bit about us, Menino. We are headquartered in the Bay Area, San Ramon specifically, but we do have offices, other offices on the West Coast, Seattle and Portland, San Jose, and we do have an office in Naperville, Illinois. But that said, we have consultants around the world, and we even have a support team in India and a support team in Singapore. Now, we've been a Dynamics partner since 2003. In addition to the CRM Dynamics product, we also provide solutions for AX and GP. And we've got over 120 consultants on staff to help folks with that. Outside of the GP, or outside of the Dynamics world, we help folks with solutions on Microsoft BI, ClickView, Microsoft SharePoint, and Office 365. Some examples of some of our customers. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide. Here's just a short sample of some of the folks that we've helped out recently with implementing Microsoft Dynamics CRM. And let's go ahead and move into, we're going to show you just a couple of teasers of some of the changes that they've made in screens, and then we'll go into the live demo. But let's first take a look at one of the first new things they've introduced is a new navigation methodology, tiled bars for quick navigation. And those of you who have seen it before, this will replace what you know as the navigation pane on the left. This methodology is much more improved because it takes up a lot less real estate, rides along the top, much more succinct, helps you drill down specifically into the data that you're looking to get at. As far as the forms themselves, you'll notice that they are a lot cleaner, a lot more white space. And what they tried to do is put more information at your fingertips without cluttering the screen. So we'll see along the left side there's a summary. This is an account record that we're looking at, so a record for a business or an organization. So some of the top level information right along the top left. In the center, we're able to see kind of a social pane, so we can see almost like a wall of activities that have been going on with this account, but that's also where we can see our activities, our scheduled activities, and our pending or our closed activities, and also our notes. So having that really succinct right there in the middle, super easy to access, gives you data at your fingertips. And then along the right side of, in this case, the account record, access to who are the contacts at that organization, what are open and won or lost opportunities right at my fingertips, and then any cases. So I'm not having to travel through different tabs, having to click through different forms to get buried within the application to get the data that is most important to me. In here, the redesign of this is taking a look at the opportunity screen. They, again, much like they did with the account screen, tried to put the most relevant and valuable information right there in front of you, so you're not having to do a bunch of drilling down to get at the most valuable information in the system. So along the top, right there on the left, or I'm sorry, on the right, for the opportunity, when's it expected to close, what's the potential revenue of it, where are we in the process, and then pertinent information about the business, about the opportunity itself along the left, and a similar kind of a pane, social pane, right there in the center. And then just along the third of the top, you'll see that reference to where is this record. Actually, I'd like to go to the next screen because I have a better representation of what that is. This is an example of one of the new features, which is referred to as guided processes or guided process flows. And what it allows us to do, in this example, it's an opportunity, of course. It allows us to define stages that we go through in pursuing the opportunity. And then within each one of those stages, we can define the steps that are necessary to accomplish along that way. And this is completely configurable. This is an example of what it looks like when it comes out of the box. But we can set it so that we can make it more intuitive for your sales folks so that they don't have to try to remember, where did I leave off? What was the last thing I did? What's the next thing I have to do? With this guided process, they know exactly where they're at, what the next step is, and what they've got to do to bring it to the next stage. The next screen is going to show us a similar concept, but with the customer service side of things. So we're able to define those guided processes in the case entity. So what are the steps that need to be taken in the pursuit to resolve customer service issues, questions, or complaints, and helping guide them through the entire process, taking the guesswork out of all of this. And one of the things that they have introduced into the 2013 system is something called social insights. And some of you who have seen, or may be existing customers, may have already in your system or may have heard us speak about a product called Inside View. And what Microsoft has done is made an arrangement with the folks at Inside View, and they have embedded this in the professional edition of the CRM application. And later in the presentation, Scott's going to show you exactly what is this, what does it do for us, and why is it important, and why is it such a big deal that it is now included with the professional edition of the application. One of the things that we're most excited about is the mobility that they have included with 2013. It seems like a no-brainer nowadays, so we're super excited to be able to say that access to your CRM data from the Windows 8 tablets and iPads completely ready out of the box. And in addition to tablets, there are apps that are becoming available. So before we talk about the apps, I want to make sure that we point out that it is cross-browser compatible. So whether you're dealing with Chrome or Firefox or Safari or IE, all ready to go. So you can access the application from any one of those browsers on any device. But they are also building apps for Windows 8, the Android, and the iPhone. And I believe that the Windows 8 and the iPhone apps, those are ready for use today. No additional cost, part and parcel of the application. And I think they're putting the finishing touches on the Android app. Now, CRM 2013 is extremely extensible. We get requests all the time for, can this work with, can I integrate it with my ERP system? And they have built into the application the foundation to make it so that we can integrate with various ERP systems so that we can be able to integrate quotes and orders and invoices. We don't have to build that structure into CRM. That's there, ready for us to then set up the integration for folks so you can have, your sales folks can have visibility into those kinds of information, that kind of data, without having to either send them reports or, God forbid, give them access to the ERP system. Some of the things that we, our Menino, that we have put together are some ISV solutions that have been getting some recognition out there in the marketplace. Specifically, a few of them: Design Win, Forecast Management. We've designed a warranty management and product repair solution, and then an RMA solution that I don't know that we're going to be showing any of those things today, but one of the things that we bring to the table is designing systems for specific verticals to make integrating those things faster, easier, less expensive to get you up and running with the information that you need to track. And then also the flexible platform to support the your business needs. So tracking member management, route delivery, order building, counterfeit tracking. That's an interesting one. A client needing to track when their products are being counterfeited, not specifically money counterfeiting, but product counterfeiting. And then, of course, vendor, client, and distributor portals available. So I think we're just about done with these slides, and then we're going to show you some software. But before we get there, one of the things that we want to share with you is the change that they have introduced in the pricing structure. And it used to be that there was one price for the whole of the application. And they have broken it down through customer request to make it possible for you to pay for the functionality that is applicable for the specific users. And Scott, were you going to speak to any of this? You want me to keep going on it?
I'd be happy to if you'd like me to. Just, yeah, the fact that there are 3 different levels. Professional gives you full access to the system, and the price for that is $65 per user per month for the online version. The basic version basically just gives you some read-write capability to some of the basic data elements like accounts and contacts, cases, but doesn't allow for that process-driven user interface that Rob was talking about. And the Essentials is basically getting access to the system through a application interface. So it's basically to import and export data, but not really interacting with the system itself. So a lot more flexibility in terms of pricing the application based on how your users are using the application.
Precisely. All right. So I think we have exhausted the slides. I'm sure that's a great disappointment to folks. Scott, are you ready to take us for a tour?
You bet. I am ready to go. So
excellent.
Can you see my screen is the question.
I can.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, thanks, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited to show you Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2013. There are some amazing and vast improvements that Rob indicated, but I'm very happy and excited to show those to you today. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through kind of the day in the life of managing an entire life cycle of a customer. I'm going to start in marketing And we'll start with a campaign. I'll take you all the way through qualifying any leads that come from that campaign into the sales process, through quoting and actually completing the sale with a customer, and then moving them into the support where we can manage a case. And I will take a few minutes and show you some of the intellectual property that we've developed around managing RMAs and return material, and just highlight very quickly some things we've done around field service. The other thing that I'm going to show you too is I'm going to go back and forth between Microsoft Outlook, which is one of the key differentiators that Microsoft has in terms of being able to use what I call that most important productivity tool we all use every day. It's the first thing I turn on in the morning and the last one that I turn off. But the CRM comes fully embedded in the Outlook client. But also, I will show you over here the Google Chrome version of that exact same visualization and use of the application. So whether I'm in a browser or whether I'm in Outlook, the data and the navigation is all very similar and the same. The look and feel is the same, but you have the ability to get access to the application how and where you want. So I'm going to start in Outlook. You'll notice that this is my my Outlook. This is my inbox and my sends, my deletes, all the things that you would expect from Outlook. You can see here at the bottom I've got my calendar and my contacts and things. But when you have a CRM 2013 installed, it also provides you all of the CRM information right here in that same ability to look over to the left and navigate into marketing and sales and customer service. And what I've got up here is a dashboard. So these are the dashboards that come with Microsoft CRM. These are kind of out of the box, but you can also create a whole bunch of custom ones. So the ones you see here are the system dashboards, and there's a number of them for sales, marketing, and customer service. But we've added a couple of very unique ones that we have designed and developed for specific purposes, and I can take you through and show you some of those. But on the dashboard, I can get a view into my sales pipeline. I can look at leads that have come in, and I get this view depending on what my role is. So if I'm a vice president of global sales, I get the entire pipeline for the company. If I'm an individual contributor and just a salesperson, I get my pipeline for my specific territory. And the same is true for leads, goal achievement for quota. And this particular dashboard has also been configured with my activities. Within Microsoft CRM, this nomenclature of activities are things that need to happen in the future. So these are reminders, and those reminders might be a task or an email or some kind of a service activity that I need to do. And then there's this concept of a closed activity, and that's really tracking the history. These are all the activities that have been completed. It provides a great history for all the work and activity that's been done with a customer, either around a case or an opportunity or a lead. And so when I walk in the morning, the first thing that I do is I want to see how are things changing. Do I have any new leads that I need to pay attention to? How's the sales pipeline developing? And then I want to jump right down into my activities. So you can see here I've got a couple of activities set up here. I've got a customer that I need to call for a proposal. I could go in and actually bring this up. We're going to work with this potential customer. Hitachi has called us and wants to buy some of our products. And so I need to call this customer and discuss this proposal. So I can go ahead and do that. I can take some notes here and indicate there what those notes might be. Had a good call, and it's now a qualified opportunity. But I can go ahead now and close this out, mark this as complete, and it will take that task out of my current open activities, and it will save it in the Hitachi account record as a closed activity. So if anybody ever wants to come back and look at what activities have I done on that account, it's going to be there available for me to be able to see that. The next thing that I would like to do is go down and drill into my pipeline. I want to take a look at some of this data. So I'm just going to be able to do that, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this little icon right here, and it's going to drill me down into my pipeline. And you can see now that this graphic is here to the right still, but it now displays all of the opportunities that are in my pipeline. And I can sort these. It's a lot like Excel, so it's really nice to be able to go in and do that. I can sort by close dates, revenue, but it also has the ability to go in and filter. So if I click on this little filter button, it gives me this little icon to be able to go in and filter. And I just want to look at those opportunities that are ready for signature. So I'm going to click that filter, say OK, and it's going to bring me up just those two opportunities that, that we're working on here. And I can just go ahead and refresh the chart, and obviously it'll take me to just those two opportunities that are there. So really powerful ability to be able to go in and to manage the ability to look at data visually as well as to drill into that information. The second thing I wanted to show you is the ability to manage what I refer to as the interactions. So when we interact with a customer, oftentimes we're talking with them via email or creating calendar appointments. And being able to track that information right from, again, that most important productivity tool is made very, very easy with Microsoft CRM. And the way we would do that is, here's an email that I just got in my inbox this morning that someone that I met at a trade show, Craig, has told me that he is very interested in having a salesperson contact me. So I want to go ahead and set this thing up as a lead. To do that, I can just go ahead and hit this track button, and it automatically goes out, takes this email, and puts it into my CRM system. Makes it very simple to do. It goes in and will look at the individuals that are on the email. It will also go and associate it with any accounts or contacts that it recognizes that these individuals have been associated with that contact. But maybe I wanted to be more specific. I really wanted to assign this to a lead. And so I can do that by going in here and either clicking this set regarding or clicking on this little link right here. And by clicking on this link, it will go up and give me some possibilities that I can be more specific about how I want to assign this, this email. So it defaults to account, but you can change that default, by the way. But in this case, maybe we want to go in and we want to set this to a lead. And so by doing that, we can go in and look at all the possible leads that are in the system, and we can assign that to potentially this one here for Craig, and go ahead and assign that. And so now it's going to be specific to a lead in the system as well as the email addresses that are here. If I wanted to convert this to an opportunity or a lead or a case, I also have the ability to do that right here from the ribbon right within Outlook. So lots of great functionality and capability there. You'll also notice now my email has changed a little bit. It's got these two little people here. And these little people indicate that this is an email that's now being tracked in CRM. This one below it isn't being tracked in CRM. You can see it doesn't have the tracking information down here like it does when I have the little people indicator. So it's very easy for me to go through my inbox and see which of my emails are being tracked in the CRM system that I'm sharing with the rest of my organization and putting into that closed activity bucket, and those that are not. Those are maybe private emails or things that don't need to be shared with the rest of the organization. I can go ahead and delete this email out of my inbox, and now all the email trail is still going to be tracked by CRM. So if my customer replies to me or a colleague replies, all of that email conversation continues to get saved into CRM, and I don't have to go and can remember to save every single email. Once it's tracked, it's done. And it continues to be the same for appointments. I can do it for tasks and contacts. All of those things that we use in our Outlook can be tracked and synchronized between CRM and Outlook. You can see here I've got this task here is synchronized because of the little people icon, as with the rest of these are all of my personal tasks. So that's really, I think, one of the real key values of CRM is that it's so fully integrated with the Microsoft productivity tools. The other thing that I wanted to show you was the ability to integrate that with Outlook. So I'm going to go over here and look at my opportunities. And when I bring up my opportunities, I get a couple of things. One is I can take advantage of the reading pane in Outlook. So rather than having to go in and open up every account or every opportunity and close it, I can just easily scroll down through here and take a look at each one of these. And as I do that, the reading pane changes. So I can very quickly, easily look at and scan through this opportunity. I can see if I've got a quote down here as an example. All this information is available to me. All these hyperlinks, you can see this this presence, this green indicator here, this is integrated with Microsoft Link, which is another productivity tool. So I can collaborate with Christine. I can see if she's online because she's green. I might be able to call her directly, to do a screen share, send her an IM. All of that I can do right here from a very easy to see and view with this reading pane. But I wanted to go ahead and, maybe I want to do some manipulation of all this data. I want to export this out to Excel. So to do that, all I have to do is hit this Export Excel button. And I have a couple of options I'm presented with. I can have a static worksheet. I can do a pivot table. I can do a dynamic worksheet, means that every time I open this worksheet, it queries the CRM database and brings me back the fresh data. But I just go ahead and hit export, and this is going to go out and pull all this information into my Excel, and now it gives me all the information that I had in CRM to be able to go and manipulate this data very easily in a spreadsheet. Maybe I want to change some probabilities or some close dates, or I want to change the stage. All of that I can easily do right within the spreadsheet, do it very quickly to 10 or 15 accounts, save that to my desktop, and then re-import this data back into the system, and it updates every single one of my opportunities very quickly and automatically without me having to go in and open up each one and close them back down. So again, another indication of the investments that Microsoft's making in the productivities of Office and Excel are pretty evident as you start working with the application. All right, so now I'm going to move over to the web version. And as Rob indicated, there have been some dramatic improvements in the user experience in the user interface. And a couple things I just want to highlight. So here's that same dashboard that we had, but now when I go up, the navigation is moved to the top of the application, and you can see here that I'm presented with marketing, sales, and service, just like I was, as well as my workplace when I was in Outlook. But it's come to me and is available to me in these very large icons. This is all also Windows 8 enabled and touchscreen enabled, so I can be able to now use this with the touchscreen, and that's the reason that the icons are fairly large, is they're very easy to get to. I can swipe back and forth. I can touch those and they'll activate and open up the different elements of the application. But in this case, we're going to start by taking a look at a marketing campaign and some of the responses to our campaign that have come in, and maybe we're going to convert a few of those to some leads. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to come up here, go to marketing, and when I open up marketing, it's going to bring me a number of different campaigns as the default, but you can see I can also continue to get to lots of other information in marketing. Maybe I want to look at marketing lists or quick campaigns or leads or contacts. All that's still available to me from the marketing view. But in this case, we're going to go look at this campaign. So this is a trade show that we just had. Our company spent a lot of time and money at this trade show, and I want to take a look at how this trade show is doing. So Microsoft CRM provides me with a fully robust application for being able to manage campaigns holistically. And I may be, as a company, we actually have one company that manages over 100 trade shows a year. And so they've had a lot of complexity and moving parts around, when do these trade shows start? What is the budget for these things? We can go in here and define what the offer is. You can see what marketing lists are going to be used. In this case, we've segmented a marketing list for our top customers. There's 76 people that we're marketing this to. Any leads that have resulted from this campaign already. We can also define campaign activities. We're going to get the booth ready. We're going to get the collateral go. We're going to send the email invite out. All that information is available to me here in this kind of one view of this campaign. But the most important one is taking a look at the responses. So these are the people that came by our trade show booth, and we collected them in a spreadsheet, uploaded it into CRM, and now I've got my inside sales team going through and wanting to see if we can't get these folks qualified. So I can take a look at this, and so let's just say here's someone that came by the booth. Just open this thing up. Want to go make a phone call to this individual, and so assuming that my inside salesperson makes a call and goes out and qualifies this lead, the first thing I'm going to want to do is decide whether I'm going to convert this to a lead or I'm going to delete this thing out. So I'm going to let this come up here in just a second here. And what I'll do here is I'll just go into this lead here and I'll bring it up, and what it's going to do is it's going to bring me with an ability to convert this. And what it'll prompt me with is it'll give me an ability to convert it to a lead or a contact or even an opportunity. Looks like my network here is slowing just a minute. I apologize for that. Well, let me just go back here and show you what that would look like when it is converted. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just switch over to the Outlook version here. Give me just a moment. I apologize. I think my PC has just decided it wants to go to sleep here. Okay, here we go. So we're back on track. Okay. So we've got the campaign here, and you can see that it's indicated that I've got a number of leads here. So what we do is we convert that lead, and or that person that came over to see us, and we're presented with a number of leads. So here's the leads that come in, and you can see we've got Craig Inglefried here. He's that trade show lead that we converted. So let me go ahead and bring Craig up and take a look at him. So Craig is that person that sent us the email, saw us at the trade show. And now you start to see a couple of other things that have been added. So we've got Craig here, but you can see now we've got this process-driven user interface. So you can see that we as a company have decided we're going to have a 4-step process to qualifying leads. We're going to qualify, we're going to develop them, we're going to propose, and we're going to close. And what I do is I've defined some different steps at each one of those stages. So in the qualify stage, I've got 6, 7, 8 things. On the development, I've got 5. Propose, I've got 4, and then ultimately I want to be able to go in and close that. And you can see these are locked down. You can lock down this business process to say I've got to complete each of these steps here before I can move to the next step. And if I wanted to go in and know that Craig is working for Hitachi, I can go in and add Hitachi data systems to this lead and go from there. Okay, a couple of other things I wanted to show you as well. So I'm working this lead from an inside sales perspective, and I've got some other information that's presented to me. So Rob mentioned this idea of social insights. Social insights is the ability to bring sales intelligence information from thousands of web sources and aggregate them and bring them to you right within CRM. And you can get this information not only for leads, you can get it for opportunities, accounts, contacts, and all this information is brought right here to you. So let me show you what that looks like. So in this case, we're looking at an organization here that gives me some summary information about Hitachi, what their revenue is, how many employees, where their locations are. But it also starts to give me some information and news. So I've got these things called smart agents. And so you can see there's information that's being presented to me in the last 30 days about an acquisition or a partnership, or maybe there's a management change. These are all really important information for me to know as a salesperson before I go make a sales call or an initial call to Craig about about some of the information that's going on in their company. But I also get a lot of other information. I get information about other executives. You can see I get I can get all people in the company. There's 245 people listed here, but maybe I just want to go in and look at C-level executives or VPs and things like that. Another really powerful capability is that I've integrated social insights with my LinkedIn and Outlook contacts. And you can see that I'm trying to make a call on Craig, but I also see that the VP of Strategic Business Development, Christian Tate, I have a connection to. Now, if I go in and just click on that, you can see that I have a connection through Christian with a good friend of mine, Dan Jones. So if I wanted to get access to Christian, all I'd have to do is contact Dan Jones, and he may be able to get me an introduction to Christian. So all of that information in terms of getting a warm introduction to this company is much, much easier with social insights. The last thing that I really like is it gives me the ability to synchronize that data. So if I just go ahead and hit the sync button here underneath Christian Tate, it will go out and it will look up all of the contact information for Christian. You can see that it's got his title and other information there, and I can actually create a lead or a contact in the system automatically right through Social Insights. So super valuable and easy capability to be able to really improve my productivity. And I believe that this is one of the #1 reasons why salespeople and marketing people and customer service people actually want to come to CRM. You know, so much of the time I think CRM is viewed as a reporting tool and something that people need to do and have to do. But this is really one of those give backs that really provides real value to users of a CRM system, and it's now, as Rob indicated, it's now included at no additional charge with the professional license of Microsoft CRM Online. Okay, well, so now I've qualified Craig, and I want to go ahead and qualify him. I can just hit this qualify button, and it will go out and it will create an account and a contact and an opportunity for me in CRM. So let's go take a look at that. So I'm going to now move over to the sales part of the application, and I've got a real qualified opportunity with Craig over at Hitachi, and I want to start selling him. So you can see that I've got accounts and contacts, leads, opportunities. But if I just use my scroll button on my mouse, I can actually scroll through lots of different information that's here. So I don't have to go back and forth. You do have arrows that you can use to go back and forth. There's a little arrow here that you can use. But I like just using the roller ball on my mouse because it's really easy to go through and to do that. So I've got some contacts here. Let's go and look at the account form because I want to go find that Hitachi account. And you can see that we've got them all in alphabetical order. But if I just go in here to the search box and hit Hitachi, actually just hit HIT, which is the first one, it's going to go and bring me to this account that's been set up after I qualified that lead. Brings me to all the information here about Hitachi. General information, the address. I get presented with my Social Insights again down here. And any other information about other contacts. There's Christian Tate that I synchronized from Social Insights, so he's now here part of my account that was added in automatically. Any other information about this company that came over from Social Insights? Is it a public company? How many individuals are associated with this company? Here's the revenue and things like that. But now what I want to do is I want to go look and work that opportunity. So let's go ahead and look at that opportunity here under Hitachi Data Systems. And so to do that, I just scroll over here to the opportunities, and I'm going to click on that opportunity here, and it's going to bring up my Hitachi opportunity. And there it is. This is that opportunity that we created. Now I filled out some of the data ahead of time, so you don't have to watch me go through all of that, but I'm going to click and open up this sales opportunity. We'll walk through and show you what it looks like to manage an opportunity and actually get a quote out. So we have a different process here for opportunities, and we've defined what those different steps are within each stage. This one isn't locked down like the other one was, so I can move to the different steps. Opportunity and all this is configurable, by the way. If you want to lock it down, you certainly can. But I can go in and mark we've developed a proposal, or I'll show you that in just a second. We're actually going to present the proposal today, so I'll go ahead and mark that complete. We've had an internal review of that proposal, so let me show you what that looks like. So as part of the opportunity, I can track the different stages. Most companies we work with will track anywhere between 3 and 7 stages. We actually have a customer that actually tracks 12 stages, but this one, in this case, we're at the 5th stage. We're kind of developing our solution and presenting that to the customer. It can indicate what I'm forecasting for this opportunity. You can see that it gives me some relevant information up here at the top. But you can see that I'm forecasting a $200,000 opportunity here. You can see that it lists the products that I'm proposing and going to sell to them and how many. But it also is going to put down here the ability to take a look at what my quotes are. So I've got a quote down here. Let's see, we've got notes and opportunities, and then at the very bottom down here are my quotes. So if I wanted to go and open up this quote, I could bring this up, and this will begin to show all the information that is required to create a quote. So I've got just who the customer is, and what currency is. There's shipping information, addresses, all that information that is required here. I can add different products to the quote. If you have different price breaks, we've configured the system to be able to say, at this price, at this quantity, it's one price, and you can add different price quantities over time, and create all of the different products and pricing that are required to create this quote. Once I've got all the information in the system to create a quote, then I go ahead and I just want to go out and send this quote off to my customer. And to do that, I just run a quick report. It's right here up at the top. But when I do that, I go and open up what it'll actually do is it'll create a PDF. It'll create a PDF that's presentable to my customer. So you can have a company logo up here, the quote number and revisions, who it's going to, what are all the products that I'm proposing, and in fact, you can even add your terms and conditions here so that you can send it off and have it signed and sent back. What we often do as a best practice is once that's signed, we actually bring that back and attach that as a note in the quote so that we have the signed document here as part of the quote for this opportunity. So once that's completed and that's done, I'll just want to go back to this opportunity, and I'll want to close this out. So if I've got that signed quote and activate that quote, the order will go over to the ERP system and get it processed automatically for shipping. And now I can indicate up here that I've closed and won this opportunity, and it will come out of my active opportunities and go into the one category so I can begin to report on that. So really, really powerful, very flexible and easy to be able to use, taking a lead all the way through qualifying at an opportunity, creating a quote, and closing that out. But that's not the end of the story. We still have got support. So let me talk to you about customer service. So I'm going to come over here to the Service tab. And within Service, lots of capabilities to be able to look at a service capability. And there's all kinds of dashboards that are available for the service organization. You may be able to take a look at an operations side and be able to look at open cases. Who are the leaders in terms of how many cases they're managing and closing? What are the different case types we've got? Are there different priorities cases? Maybe one person's really taking our top priorities, or we want to be able to make sure we're allocating workload by customer service rep, and we can track all of that by setting up these different dashboards and tracking that. But I want to go in and specifically start looking at some of the cases. So I'm going to go over here and look at these cases, and I'm going to start by looking at a case that's going to require some material to come back to me. I'm a manufacturer, I'm a high-tech producer of product, and I need to be able to talk to a customer about a problem and bring some product back for either repair or replacement. So to do that, I go in and open up this case. I get the customer on the phone, and I find out who this is. In this case, we've got this wacky company we're working with called Menino that wants to send some parts back. So we sent them a micro drive, and it looks like it's no longer working, and so we need to bring that back to get it repaired. So to do that, I go in. The first thing I need to do is I need to set what type of a case is this. And you can see that I've got a number of different cases. I've got a standard cases. Does it require field repair? Did it fail out of the box? But in this case, I need to have these parts sent back to a depot. So I'm going to put depot repair here. And this is going to give me the information that's required for me to set up an RMA. I just want to show you something kind of cool. If I go in and change this to field service, watch right here what happens. When I click it to field service, the depot repair information goes away, and all the information that's required for a field service call is replaced with that. So it's really easy to configure to have some of this dynamic information, so you don't have too much information on a form. You're only presented with what's really relevant to this particular case. But in this case, I've got a couple things that I need to do. The first thing that I need to do is I need to be able to decide where it's going back to, so I can indicate that. Do I need to execute a replacement order? So this is basically creating an order in the system that would replace it and send an order out ahead of the customer sending those parts back. But I also give the customer some instructions that they're going to be receiving an email from me on where to send it, and it will have a packing slip and a shipping information with it, and all of that will be on the RMA. So let me go pull up that document, and this is where all that information can be automatically prepared. But basically, this is the information that goes to the customer to tell them where to ship it to. Here's their tracking number on UPS. If we're going to return it to a different address, we can do that. What parts have been authorized with specific serial numbers need to come back. And everything that a customer needs to be able to put those parts in a box and ship them back to me. When I save this information will all be extracted out of CRM, put into a very nicely formatted email, and attach the shipping labels so that the customer has all of that information in the email. So I can track the different stages of this case. So in this case, I sent instructions to the customer, and I'm waiting now for those parts to come back. As soon as I create an RMA, by the way, some companies need to have a work order in the depot. So this application also supports the ability to automatically create a work order that's associated with that RMA. And the work order may have some specific information that's automatically populated to help the depot when the parts are received. So it says, you know, here's the RMA that we're tracking. It has the information around the customer and the contact. It actually gives some information around you know, who is, what the different steps are that need to be used in terms of the repair process, and then you can put any notes in there. So not every company uses work orders, but the system does support the ability to manage work orders and RMAs at the same time. So now the customer has gone in, we received those parts at the depot, and we're working that effort. We can change the different stages of this product, but ultimately those parts are going to get repaired, and we can either put those back into stock or we can return them back to the customer. But whatever that might be, whether you return the parts to the customer or return to stock, we can have a stage there. But we'll want to confirm that either the replacement part that we sent originally or the repaired part has been received by the customer. And once we hit this stage, then the owner of this case, Christine in this case, will receive a notification that she needs to contact the customer and make sure that everything has been completed as expected. Once Christine does that, she'll change the status to resolved, and she'll hit the resolve case button, and it will close this case and take it out of my queue of cases and put it away as a resolved case. So that's the process for managing a depot repair. I'm just going to show you very quickly a field service, and then I'll wrap things up. But in this case, we're going to go and find, I've got one that I've kind of prepared here, which was a field service request for a similar requirement. But in this case, you can see that we've indicated field service. Within the field service area, I can define what serviceable parts for serviceable items. Maybe these are kind of large sub-assemblies that we believe is the problem. So I can identify what that sub-assembly is, what its serial number is, when it was installed. We actually do track all of the product record history of replacements of spare parts and serial numbers, so we can track all of that. We can also track service activity. So this is the actual scheduling of a field service technician. I'll show you that in a second. And then the field service technician can also request spare parts from inventory. And this is basically just a requisition that we can go out and get those spare parts requested so that they arrive in the field with the field service rep when they're ready to do that. Let's go ahead and take a look at this schedule. What this is showing me here is what the repair is. They can have different repair types, who the customer is. And the most important thing here is that it recognizes that this type of a repair, it requires some very specific resources. And I'll show you how the system can actually prompt you to do that in just a second. But it's a pretty robust system in terms of being able to do that. Okay, so so once I kind of define kind of the main parameters, what I would do is go up here to the Schedule button, and it would take a look at what are the options here, what the repair is, who the resources are, and I can set some times and dates. And I just hit a button here, and it will go out and it will look for all the available options for me, and I can choose which option might work for the customer. And you can see there's a lot here. There's 250, so I've got, as soon as possible, but I got a pretty broad range of time. But I can go and just pick one of those and schedule this, and so it will take, it will come back and it will schedule a time and a date for me to, how long it's going to take for me to be able to finish this this repair. And so when that's done, I'll go ahead and save and close that. And this activity now will be added here to my my case, so that I know that on December 10th, I've got a team that's going out to see that. The system does also have a service calendar, so I can go out and look at the calendar of all of my service calls, and I can sort that by a lot of different ways. And so in this case, it'll bring me up with a calendar that'll allow me to see I've got this repair, who's doing it. I can look at different resources, by the way. If I've got equipment I want to look at, you can also see that it will show me that I've got this truck this truck reserved, as well as the individuals that are on the team that need to go out and be a part of this. So you can see that we've got this truck and these individuals on the calendar to be able to go out and do this field service repair. So in the end, one of the things that is important to be able to take a look at is the ability to manage those cases holistically. And so we've got the ability to go out and take a look at customers that have products under warranty and when those warranties are expiring. So we've got a little dashboard here that shows that these are the warranties that are coming up for repair. Maybe I want to look at some of my costs that I've been tracking by warranty. Maybe I want to run a report for a customer on the installed parts that they have and what the serial numbers are, and where are all my parts and products installed at. So maybe I want to look at my top 10 customers and the install base that we have there. So in the end, that I'm actually getting ahead of and being proactive, working with my customers to manage their warranties and manage their product repair, whether that's at a depot for an RMA or whether that's in the field for customers with field service. So with that, that's really all that I've got prepared here. I'll turn it back over to Dee and see if we've got any, or Rob, maybe you, and see if we got any questions.
Yeah, if there are questions in the panel, your GoToWebinar panel, there's an area there where you can post any questions that you might have, and we'll be happy to address any of those that come in.
Sure, and we have a few that come in throughout, so if we can go ahead and maybe get started on those and then give people time to send their questions in. So the first question I had here was asking to explain the difference between CRM Online and on-premise with the new licensing types, Pro, Basic, and Essentials.
Sure, maybe I can take that one. So both CRM Online and on-premise have the Professional, Basic, and Essentials capability. For the online, as I mentioned, the prices are $65 per user, $30 per user for Basic, and then $15 for the Essentials. And the on-premise follows something similar. It's about $1,500 per user for the on-premise, and I think it's something like about $500 for the Basic, and a couple $100 for the Essentials. So the return on investment is usually about a 3-year break even for online versus on-premise. Obviously, the online is perpetual, but some companies are interested in deploying online, and so you have that choice and flexibility with Microsoft.
Great, thank you, Scott. Another question that we had come through was, sorry, screen's moving here. Does the new
Okay, I
Dynamics
can
work
get
in
it.
Outlook 2013? My current Dynamics does not. So.
And the answer is definitively yes. Actually, Scott, weren't you presenting through Outlook 2013
Yeah,
on the
yep,
demonstration?
I
Yes.
was.
So
I was using 2013.
not just theoretical, actually was working for you right there.
Yep.
Okay, and then are there any additional costs associated with the mobile application and social insights that's included with Dynamics CRM?
Yeah, great question. So the applications come at no additional charge, so you don't have to pay for that. There can be some services requirement for the mobile application to configure your visualization on different devices. I will tell you that CRM 2013 comes with the ability to dynamically align for different form factors. So the PC version of 2013 comes in 3 columns, but if you go to look at it on your cell phone, for example, it will automatically recognize that it's a cell phone form factor, and it will take those 3 columns and stack them one on top of the other so that they actually scroll down as opposed to being side by side. So that's a really nice feature. But some of that configuration, there could be some configuration work where we would help work with our customers in terms of what kind of data really makes sense to put out on the mobile devices versus recommending that process be executed on a PC. From a social insight standpoint, everything is included. There is one additional capability for CRM Online that many customers are considering, and they do provide an ability to do unlimited data downloads through list building, and that is an additional charge, and we can talk with you about that. There is a charge for CRM on-premise, and it's somewhere around $25 per user per month.
Great, so we have another one here. Will this work with other Office 365 products? Word, Excel, Outlook?
Yeah, great question. So the answer to that is absolutely. You may remember from the demo that I showed you how I did an export to Excel. It also uses Word as a word merge application for doing word merges. It also uses Microsoft Link. You may have remembered that I showed you the ability to how Link had the presence, the capability right within CRM. I should also mention that it also now is fully integrated with Skype. So if you choose to use, it's just a small configuration in Outlook, but as soon as you click on a phone number, it will automatically open either Link or Skype, your choice, and dial out through that. It's a pretty amazing and very cool feature, which will continue to be a very important strategic direction that Microsoft will be going with both Skype and Link.
Okay, and then we have another question. Do the logins change with CRM 2013?
This is specific to online, I'm sure. The answer is for some people, they do change. Back when Microsoft CRM Online was initially introduced, they did their authentication through the Windows Live platform. And in the last year and a half, they've transitioned to using the Office 365 platform. So our friends that were initially set up on the Windows Live will be transitioning to the Office 365, and you should be hearing from Microsoft to coordinate that transition. And it doesn't necessarily correlate with the exact day that your upgrade to 2013 happens. What we've been seeing is that they try to coordinate that that conversion to the portal authentication first, and then they do your upgrade to the 2013. But I can see the person who asked that question, and the answer is yes for you, sir. I believe it's going to be a change. All right, what else do we got out there, Dee? Any more?
Yeah, we have, let me see here. We have one question around, does the CRM connector work in the same manner from release 2011 to 2013? So.
And that, I would imagine, is the Outlook client? And for that, yes, I actually did some testing of my own, set up my an instance of CRM 2013 online, and used my existing connector, which is currently connected to a 2011 system, and there were no hiccups in it at all. So it was a very seamless transition. And then of course I would want to upgrade eventually to the most current client, but using the older one didn't seem to have any kind of a problem at all.
Okay, great. So another question here, are there any changes or improvements to email templates?
I'm not aware of any changes to email templates in the 2013. Scott, do you know anything I might not? I don't think that there are changes.
I don't think there's anything significant. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's see here. We're at 11 o'clock here. Let's go ahead and take one more question, and we'll answer the rest of these offline. But let's go ahead and we have a question here that says our product isn't off the shelf. Instead, we have to fabricate it. Does Dynamics include any project management within the program?
So let me take that one. I'll try and answer that one as best I can. So it does not include Microsoft Project. You can embed Microsoft Project in Dynamics CRM, but it's not necessarily an included feature. But I will tell you, it is very common in many of our CRM deployments to configure CRM to support projects after a sale has been completed, for example. And so CRM is very adept at being able to take a closed sale, add team members to a project, have different stages in a project, track progress, collaborate, put documents up in CRM so that it's kind of the single point where everybody goes to collaborate on a project. But it doesn't have out of the box a project management feature. I should say that there are ISV or independent software vendors that are and do have some project management capability for CRM that would be an additional cost that you could deploy with CRM.
Okay, well, perfect. I think that wraps up the time we have right now. If you have more specific questions, feel free to contact Scott or Rob directly. And then when we will go ahead and get back to those of you who we didn't get to with your questions today. And all we ask is that you, as you exit the webinar, there's a quick survey. Just please take a moment and let us know how we're doing. And I just wanted to thank you for your time, and I hope you all had a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Dee.